If you've ever played the single game of Carcassonne and you've never played with the expansions, or you're thinking about getting Carcassonne as well as the expansions, this is what you want to look at. This is going to be Carcassonne with about 5 or 6 of the expansions here. We're going to go ahead and break this thing open. We're going to show you what's inside of it, and we're going to go ahead and turn around and show you how to play some of the expansions. What we are not going to do in this video is show you how to play Carcassonne. We already have a review on the website that shows how to do that, plus there's several other videos out there on the internet that cover that. So this is only going to be the big box with the expansions, not how to play Carcassonne. Alright, one of the things that's really cool about the Carcassonne big box is the inside top of the lid. As you can see here, it's got a nice printing on it, and it shows you where every single thing goes. So you have all the parts and pieces here, all the little expansion pieces. There's places for all the tiles and all the wooden pieces and the board and everything. Okay, so this is the inside of the Carcassonne big box. You can see it's got all different sections in it. What you have here is the rules, the board. This is the scoring chart. All the different tiles are here, and these two right here are the core game. You have Traders and Builders. You have the Count and Princess and Dragon. You have the Abbey and Mayor. Inns and Cathedrals. And the core Carcassonne meeples. And then you have some extra tiles for some other expansions that are part of this. Alright, now before we actually step into the rulebook and show you how well written this rulebook is, I want to point something else out here that's a little extra bonus that Rio Grande went and did. On here you'll see different icons. On the front of the box, the front of the instructions, icons. On the tile pieces, icons. So you can always find out which piece of the game you're playing with. Are you playing with the core game? Are you playing with all the expansions? Which expansions? That sort of thing. Makes it very easy. Those icons also flow through the rulebook, and we'll show you that. Okay, this is the rulebook for Carcassonne, the big box. Here's the core rules for Carcassonne. They cover a couple pages here. Then you get to Inns and Cathedrals, and again, there's your icon I was talking about. Here's Traders and Builders. 2 pages. Here's Princess and Dragon. Again, here's the icon. Here's Abbey and Mayor. Here's the River 2, the Count, the King, and the Cult. And then that's it. And then here you have farmer scoring, and you have a turnover view, which is really nice, and it includes all of the different expansions. And then it flows over onto the back. Alright, what you see here is the tiles for Inns and Cathedrals. This is the first expansion. You can see some of the tiles have a river on it. That's the inn. There's a cathedral. You have courtyards of farm here. You have an angle there. Here's 3 castles on the edge. So there's just some variation in the tiles. Some other things that you have here are giant meeples that are double size of your normal meeple, 1 for each player. You also get a whole nother player. And you can see here, this is the gray large one and the gray normal size one, so you can see the size difference. This is a setup that you might see using Inns and Cathedrals with Carcassonne. What you have here is a mega meeple. What that means is that he acts as 2 meeples. So if you have contention over the road, the mega meeple wins. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop him out and put in a regular one. And what you have here is an inn on the lake and a cathedral. So, because there's an inn on this road right here, every tile on that completed road is worth 2 points rather than 1. Over here, once this castle completes, this cathedral means that you get 3 points per tile rather than 2. What we're looking at here is Traders and Builders. Traders and Builders comes with a bunch of the tiles. Here's some of the unique tiles that are out there. You'll notice they have goods on the cities. You'll also know that there's 2 here that have different road segments. There's a bridge on those roads. What that means is that this is a continuous road, and that's a continuous road, so you get 4 field segments. And on this one, you get 1 here, and then a continuous road underneath it, so you get 3 field segments. You get the trade goods, you get builder meeples, and pigs also. This is your starting piece. You would place your meeple like normal, and the turn would go around and everybody would take their turn. On your next turn, you might place that tile right there, and then you would place a builder onto that road. Turn would go around again. On your next turn, every time you add on to this road, you get to take another turn. So, for example, I could place that tile there. Because I'm expanding on the road, I would get another turn. So I could place that tile there. Or, because it's exactly another turn, I don't have to add on to the road. I could add this tile here. I could place a meeple in that castle or on that road, again, because it is another turn. So let's talk about the trade goods now. As you can see, this is a completed city with 2 trade goods of the barrels. When you complete the city, you take your meeple as normal, and you get 2 trade goods. That comes to you, and then at the end of the game, whoever has the most of that trade good is going to get 10 extra points. There's also a wheat, and there's also a textile, so you have 3 different trade good options to work off of. So let's talk about the little wooden pigs. You have a setup here like so. You have a farmer in the field. On my turn, I would place a tile. Then I would place my little wooden pig in the field. That little wooden pig, instead of having 3 points per completed city, I'm now going to get 4 points per completed city. This pig does not act as a second farmer. It's its own entity by itself, so when you add up who has the most, it doesn't count towards that. This is Princess and the Dragon. As you can see again, you get a series of tiles, and some of the special tiles that you get are tiles with dragons on them, tiles with portals on them, tiles with the princess in it. You also have a volcano, and a cloister inside of a city, and you have a tunnel that goes underneath the city, which is a continuous road, but 2 separate fields. You also get a wooden dragon and a wooden fairy. Okay, so this is your tile setup. I'm going to add a tile. And oh, look at that. There's the volcano. That means the dragon comes out. Now the dragon stays there until one of those tiles with a dragon icon shows up. So now I'm going to play my next tile. And I'm going to place it here. And oh look, there it is. There's the dragon icon. That means that this dragon is now going to move 6 spaces or until it comes to an end. Now the 6 spaces are special because each person gets to move it 1 space at a time. So I would move it 1 space, then the next player would move it a space. At this point there's not much on the board, so it's kind of dead in the water, it can't go anywhere. But the only rule to this is it can never go back to a space it's been. So for example, it can't move here, here, and back because it's already been on that space. Let's talk about another tile. This is the cloister inside of the city. Now you have a choice with this. You can either put it in as a monk or you can put a meeple in as a knight. If you put it in as a monk, that means that the rules of a cloister apply and you have to surround that cloister with tiles to score it. Otherwise, it works as a normal city. Alright, let's look at another setup. Now we've got a meeple on the road, right? You take this tile and you place it here. And look, there's a magic portal. What that means is that you get to take your meeple and move him anywhere else on the board. The only thing that's required is that it follows standard meeple placement rules. Now while we're in this location, let's go back to our volcano and let's bring back this dragon. The benefit is he eats meeples. So on your turn, it might go here. That meeple goes away. That's the benefit of moving the dragon around, and that's why they move it in turn, so you could try and protect your meeples. Okay, so let's talk about the fairy now. On your turn, you're going to place your tile, like so. Now rather than placing a meeple, I'm going to place the fairy, which is the white meeple thing there. What that does is when the dragon comes out, it protects you from the dragon. The dragon will not go to a space that the fairy is on. So he kind of has to take a trajectory like that, and it protects your meeple. Now, the cool thing about the fairy is, on your turn, if you start off with the fairy on your spot, you get a free point. If this road completes with your meeple on it and the fairy, you get 3 extra bonus points. Now, this thing is called Princess and the Dragon. Let's talk about the princess. Alright, so we're going to place a princess tile now as the red player. Because the princess icon comes out, you send a meeple home.